Yay!
Hey, everybody. All right. So today I am joined with the lovely and beautiful Denise Redd, as you can see here. And Denise is somebody who has so much that she wants to share with you with regard to her successes. As somebody who has successfully completed the Seeker's Method, she was one of my original testers. And I can't even begin to say the transformation that has been manifesting on a near daily basis for Denise. And so Denise, thank you so much for agreeing to do an interview with me today. Your testimony is just powerful, and I'm very excited that and thankful that you agreed to go on this journey with me and to come here and do this interview with me today. So first and foremost, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So today, if you don't mind, I'm just going to dive in. I have a whole host of questions for you, and I'm just going to dive in, and we'll just let the discussion free flow as it progresses. And if there's anything that you want to elaborate on, if there's anything I don't ask you, I invite you to elaborate accordingly. So first things first, you were somebody who tested the Seeker's Method with me, and I want to ask you, when you first started the Seeker's Method, were you struggling with your weight? Meaning it hadn't just become like you were just a dieter, but were you at a point where you actually were struggling?
Oh my gosh, yes. So when I came to the Seeker's Method, it was like when you get to the plateau mark, or you get to the point where you've tried everything and now there's nothing. What else is there? I have a whole list of things I've tried. And it's like, oh yeah, that worked for, 30 days. Okay, great. It's back on. And I was at the last of what do I do?
Yeah. Yeah. And we've all been there. And I think it's sometimes we almost have to get to that point of desperation that before we realize that it's when we're at that breaking point that God kind of has us where he wants us to be in order to actually try something terribly unconventional by the world's standards. So
Right.
I totally agree with you. I was at the exact same place. What was your biggest obstacle with weight loss when you first started this program?
The biggest obstacle is one of the hard things to define, because for me, everything's big. I have sabotage, where it's one of those things that you go, oh, I'm going to eat this piece of cake. And then I get in my head that, oh, well, I had that, so I might as well have this. Oh, well, I might as well have that. And then I throw the entire day away. And then the day turns into the week. And then, I end up doing that. And then along with, sabotage comes your self-control that, why couldn't I just stop at that piece of cake? Why did I have to continue on my path of destruction? And then, you have the piece of cake because, well, you're deprived of the piece of cake. So it's like this whole circle that is a gigantic ball obstacle that I'm trying to push, and I roll it and it bounces back and hits me. You're a move. Okay, smack. Oh, yeah. So it's not just one, it's just like this big ball. And it was a cycle you can't get out.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And I love, the whole analogy of the ball bouncing back and hitting you. That's hysterical. Do you feel like you're actually free of that right now?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I finally, you don't even know, this is years of, all right. So I'll put a little bit of me out there. I have struggled my entire life since 6th grade. So this is years of back and forth, and the ball comes back and hits me every single time, that now I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, I popped it.
Yeah, you did. I love that. You popped it.
Right, it's gone.
So good. Yeah. I'm just so proud of you, because that's your test, and now it's your testimony. And I could talk for days about the change that you in particular have exhibited. It's just so powerful. Even just looking at you right now, your face looks so much different. And I know that you're probably reaping the rewards of the harvest right now, because people are probably noticing. And if they aren't noticing, Denise, I can tell you that they're going to start saying things. They're not sure what's different. They can't quite articulate it, but your face looks completely different. I'm so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you. Can you tell me what it was that drew you first to the Seeker's Method?
This was something that came easily to me and was one of my decisions in coming to the Seeker's Method. Is in my head, I had tried everything. I was missing something, but what was I missing? And I had no idea what I was missing until the Seeker's Method presented itself. And I was completely intrigued by the idea of putting together the mind, the body, and the spirit, and seeing how that worked, if that was my missing link. I've always had the mind and body. I've always been able to exercise. I've always been able to eat right. I've been on programs, off programs. Yes, I can be good, and then I'm bad, and then I sabotage myself, but I've never had the spirit. And when I saw that, it was one of those things where it was like, oh my gosh, that's the missing piece.
Yeah.
And my whole life weight problem is, it's the triangle of having all three together. And that's what brought me to it.
That gave me chills, because you're absolutely right. I mean, we hear all of this, soulmate, soul food, everything is for our soul. And, you go to yoga and you do all of these things and they talk about mind-body connection, but how do you actually do that? And in the quest of those programs to do mind-body connection, there's absolute omission of spirit. There is no, and what I love about this program in the way that it was presented to me was, I, like you, had that void too. I couldn't figure out what it was. And once I realized that it was because I never showed up and actually lived in my spirit, that I never realized that that's where my strength was. That is absolutely where the strength is. And that's the difference.
That's the whole core.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. So what was it about this program that you liked?
My favorite thing about the program was it was on my time. Yeah. I am a mom. And at the time I signed up for this program, I was finishing up my college degree. Very busy.
Yeah.
I cannot get online and do things on a scheduled time. If you have a life, I guess any life would work.
Yeah.
Kids are crazy. School is crazy. Tests have due dates. Kids have bedtime dates. Husbands have caring dates. And I can't just go, oh, I'm sorry, you need to go to Weight Watchers and leave you right now. Yeah. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I could get on at any time and the tools were at my fingertips, and within the tools were links that I could plug in my little earphones, open my laptop, and at 11 o'clock at night, digest this information, go to bed and wake up and go, and review my note-taking and whatnot. So I think that was the biggest thing. The second was I didn't have to weigh in.
I know. The psychology of weighing in, it can be detrimental.
Right.
Yeah.
Did not have to weigh in.
Yeah. Were you able to successfully release the scale?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had reasons why I couldn't find my scale. Well, reasons why I didn't use my scale was a Christmas gift from my husband. Uh-huh. So it has been in the bathroom. And when I first started the Seeker's Method, it was kind of funny because I'm like, okay, I can't use you. And I left it there. And I didn't put it away. I just kind of left it there. And there were reasons that I couldn't use it. Like it was covered with clothes. I was too lazy. It had a painter's tarp on it. Wasn't undoing that. And then eventually what had happened is my husband had cleaned the bathroom and he put the scale away.
No.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to go find it.
Yep.
I'm just going to leave it gone.
Yeah.
And the scale's still gone because who cares about a scale? I don't need it.
No, I know.
Great.
I know. I'm like you. The scale affects me negatively, and to be free of that is absolutely liberating. Absolutely liberating. So in this program, what was the hardest part for you?
So I am huge OCD. I'm a perfectionist, especially on myself. And the hardest part that I was taught that I had to come to grips with is your term sloppy success.
Yeah.
There is no room for that in my book.
Yeah.
You're either on your mark or you're not.
Yeah.
I'm a military baby, so I'm very well regimented. This is how the world is, and this is how we're going to run it. No, not according to the Seeker's method. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay that you're sloppy.
Yeah.
And you'll still succeed.
Yeah.
And you'll still see results, and you're not shamed. You're not. It's overcoming that sloppy success is acceptable was mind-blowing for me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't exist in my world. You don't. And now I'm like, it's all right, guys. Well, you know what? We're still good. Let's move on.
Absolutely.
Sloppy success, don't let it derail you.
Yep.
You're good. You're still on the track. You just dipped your toe off of it. No big deal. And that was probably my biggest overcome.
Yeah, and that's huge because, I mean, think about how that spills over into every single thing in your life. And as moms, you know, if we're going to do that to ourselves, we're going to do it to some extent without even realizing to our children. So this is a good lesson for you. But in addition to that, you know, God gives us grace. And so sometimes we need to learn how to not only receive his grace, but to give it to ourselves.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I
Which
mean,
I've learned.
Yeah.
Through sloppy success.
Yeah. My life coach, Hannah Keeley, that's her motto. Sloppy success beats perfect failure. And I think it totally fits the Seeker's method because it's a way that you can learn to start coaching yourself that it's okay. I got you, baby girl. Get back up. Let's just keep going. Just like you said. So that is so good. Oh, what a good thing to have walked away with. What was actually easier on the program than you had anticipated?
So my easiest thing, and this is going to be so different, beating my sugar dragon.
Oh, really?
I so thought it was going to be so much harder beating the sugar dragon. The sugar dragon and I were best friends. I mean, we had dates multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where I did crave sugar or something sweet, and it was the worst dragon ever. It had wings. It was above my head all the time. And I actually found it was so much easier beating the sugar dragon and not even letting it come back.
Yeah.
And if it comes back, it doesn't stay.
Nope.
It's like, yeah, you can have a Tootsie Roll and you'll still be fine.
Yep.
You don't have to let the dragon control everything.
No, you're right.
That was so much easier than I truly anticipated.
You know, and it's so good that you're sharing that with women who are either deciding to, you know, consider the Seeker's method or who are starting it right now, because that's a scary one. And to hear that that was easier than you thought, I mean, that's pretty powerful. That's really powerful. And the fact that you have control, that is, that's awesome. Yeah. So do you feel that the Seeker's method program changed you spiritually, emotionally, as well as physically?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Spiritually, it has helped me launch a relationship that I had no idea how to launch. It has taken me off my path of what I was raised with, which was my parents' path or the church's path or whatever you were brought up with. And it has brought me into my own path. I was able to say, this is my path with God, not my mom's path, not my church's path, not my vacation Bible school path. This is mine. I've got my own spiritual path out of this. Emotionally, I might still be a wreck. I'm a mom. Since I had children, they will test every emotion you have and then some.
Yep.
So emotionally, I like to say I am stronger in the essence that I don't snap as much. I have a lot more patience for that sloppy success, even for the children and the husband, and it's okay.
Yeah.
The world's not going to shatter.
Nope.
Physically, yeah. Physically is awesome. So I put on, I bought my daughter some pants, and I had bought her a pair of juniors, and they were too big for her. She's like, Mom, they'll fit you. And I'm like, well, they're juniors. They're not going to fit me. And this was back in, I don't know, maybe November. I was like, all right, let's try them. And I tried them, and they fit me. I had not been on the scale. I'm like, let's just put them on. And now We're in January. They're too big for me.
That is so amazing.
I know. So exciting. So it has hit on all three levels.
So do you feel proud of yourself and like you have the tools to keep this up?
I do have the tools. And that's what's even more amazing is I have everything I need to keep moving forward. And I think the need was the confidence, the tools to manage yourself, the tools to coach yourself and say, yeah, you can have that piece of cake and be done and you're fine. You're not falling off anything. And if I don't have that, I have things that can assist me throughout say I'm having a hard day or whatnot. What I've been taught has given me the tools to go through my head or to open a notebook that I've kept to say, oh my gosh, I am having a really hard time at this corporate function. Let's say they brought in everything and everybody's chowing pizza and I've got this salad. I have the tools to say, okay, I'm going to eat this pizza and you know what? Dinner's going to be healthy and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it is. It's liberating. And even briefly touching on the fact that I want to ask you about meal timing. Was that something that you were concerned about, that you could time your meals? And is that a tool that you are actively leveraging even still?
So meal timing, it's kind of funny because I'll tell you a little story. My boss does it. And when he first told me about meal timing, my words were, you're nuts. I could never do that. Now, my boss has done P90X and whatnot. And he's done, stuff like this. And I was like, you're crazy. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, I am successful in meal timing. I use it every day in my life. Yep. And it works.
Yes, it does.
It works beautifully. And even with all the other tools from all the other programs I have had, because let me tell you, I've done them all. I honestly just threw away my trackers not too long ago. I went, yep, don't need you.
Yep.
What I gained in the Seeker's Method, I will use forever. It's not like I'm going to go pitch a tracker or I'm going to throw away drops or I'm going to exhale that gym membership and be like, I'm tired. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. These are ingrained in me that I will be successful forever now. Yeah. Like I will have no weight fight.
Isn't that liberating? It's so liberating. I mean, it's like the best gift you could ever give to yourself. The next question I have is, do you feel that you have the tools now? Well, I think we already talked about this. Let me ask you it from this perspective. Do you feel that there's a difference in this program knowing that you're doing it with God than when you were just doing it on your own?
Oh my gosh, that's the key. 100%. I would not have been able to do this without God. And I didn't know that with my previous programs. And now I know that I can't even continue without seeking him. Yep. And having him hold my hand on his right side and take me with him to be successful. I am not successful without him. I am not successful without utilizing the tools that have brought me to him and started me on my path.
I agree with you.
All key.
I agree with you. And I think it's I think it's no accident that the enemy has had things that way, that we only invite God to the table and to our food by allowing us to just give grace and to be thankful and whatever, but we never invite God into our lives with regard to, really showing us what willpower is and just bringing God to all facets of our lives instead of just saying, God, please heal my sick friend, or God, please let me get this job, or God, only going to him when we're not really praying as much as we're begging. And this program, I think fundamental to it is recognizing that he wants an invitation to be on this journey with you, but he has to be invited.
Right. He wants to be here. And I think that I've also learned through this, I don't beg. Prayer I was taught when I was younger is you ask for things, and I don't. I've learned how to pray. Through this method, I've learned how to pray. I never knew how to pray, and I never knew but I've learned how to pray to actually be in the relationship form. Like there's times I'll be driving to work and I'll be like, hey Dad, just want to say I love you. Can I get to work safe today? I'll catch up with you later because I'm kind of busy. In Jesus' name, amen. And I'm done.
Yeah.
It's short, it's simple, it's sweet, but I've learned that you can do it with anything. It's just a conversation. It's not, hey, I need this. I'm in trouble with this. I'm in trouble with that. Okay, could you give it to me? And then regurgitating it again and again and again. I kind of say it and let him have it.
Yeah.
It's yours now. It's out of my hands. You take this mess. And I learned that through the Seeker's Method. I never had that before.
That's so good, because that's exactly what he wants us to do. And in that, there is so much freedom.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Off the shoulders is like, yep, okay. Just I'm going.
So I want to ask you, who do you think is best served by this program? Who do you think this would best serve?
I would say anyone looking to find their path with God or find their stepping plank with God. Anybody looking to dial into why they can't seem to find the way to lose weight and make it stick.
Yeah.
And somebody who's open spiritually to Christianity.
Yeah.
I think that it could work for somebody who maybe not, but I really don't feel that it would work as well.
Yeah.
I think you can do so much as a human, but he can do so much more. And you really need to let that in order to gain all the benefits of the Seeker's Method.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because I think you've kind of put your finger on the pulse of that. It's the difference between having a relationship and a religion and keeping them compartmentalized, and realizing that you need to open it up, have a relationship, and invite him in, especially in the areas where you're struggling. And weight loss is not an area where he wants to be uninvited. He wants that invitation there. And to leverage the most powerful tool that you have, which is the Holy Spirit, and the guidance that comes from him, and the rapport and the strength that comes from having that relationship. Right. Where you guys are a team. I mean, imagine, well, I could talk for days, but that's so awesome. So I want to ask you this question. It's kind of one of those questions that is polarizing, but let's talk a little bit about the price. So the Seeker's Method is competitive with a lot of things that are out there right now in terms of how to lose weight. The difference maker being that this program teaches you to seek God and to not seek a number on the scale, and to break you from the world's grasp of being a dieter, which keeps us on this perpetual hamster wheel that you mentioned of, constantly needing to seek the next program and looking for immediate gratification. This is completely different from that. And it's priced accordingly because it's incredibly cerebral. It is cerebral, and all of the working out is in the spirit, truly. And you get to a point where eventually you can start to bring Tabata and different exercise regimens into the plan. But while you're doing the 3 months, the 90 days of the program itself, there is no physical working out with the exception of just the spiritual component. So with that, I'd like to get your insights as somebody who has paid for a multitude of weight loss strategies in the past. How do you feel knowing that the price point is currently at $267? How do you feel about that price relative to other programs?
I think the price relative to everything I've done is on point, if not shy of the value.
Oh, bless your heart.
The value this program has taught, and you did hit key on, I haven't had to exercise.
Yeah.
And I haven't mentioned that as one of my favorite things I did mention, right? Sugar dragon, the scale. I haven't had to exercise, guys. I don't have to exercise. There's no need to exercise. There's plenty of fluff on this body that it's melting away without me having to go and pay for a gym membership.
Yep.
And I have paid for those memberships. I have paid for those memberships as a college student. I have paid for those memberships as an adult. I have paid for those memberships in multiple forms. I have paid for memberships through work. I have paid through them through my doctors. And none of them brought the value that I have found in the Seeker's Method. And I would pay this forever to stay on a program like this every single month.
I agree.
Bless you. It's only 3 months and I can do things on my own now.
Yeah, good.
Because I'm equipped to do things on my own and be successful on my own. But that's even one of the nice things as well, is that it's not a forever gym membership. It's not a forever program. You are given the tools to walk away after 3 months and still lose weight.
Yeah.
Still continue on your path with great success because you have the tools.
I agree.
I think it's right lower than it should be. I'm not going to say right where it should be because I value it that much. What I have obtained out of this, I valued it so much more. My heart has been opened. My mind has been opened. And I have been relieved of the weight drama for 34 years of my life. I'm 41. It started in 6th grade.
Wow.
This is amazing that after 3 months, I'm free.
And what a testimony that is to your mothering, because those daughters of yours are paying attention. And you're already starting to see the cascading effects of, the role of sugar in your lives, the awareness of sugar in your lives. You and I are both at that point where we're starting to influence our children and they're paying attention to us. And what an amazing role model they have in you.
Yes. I have one child that is sugar-free now. And she will not eat sugar. And she is my ballerina, which is good because she needs to be strong to be a ballerina. Being on your toes is not an easy feat to hold your body weight. And my second daughter is following suit. She is a swimmer. It's much harder for that one than it is the first one. The first one is much younger, though, so mommy has a higher influence. But even so, even on my husband, he's not having as much sugar. And it's nice that I can buy things and it sits in the pantry and I don't touch it.
Yeah.
I don't need or want to touch it. The kids don't touch it. So then I don't buy it until the husband goes, hey, could you get more of that? And it might be a month later. And I'm like, sure. I'll get you some. So it's spilling over into all of them where we don't have the sugar.
No.
It's great.
Because we don't need it. And now you have real food and real tools.
Right.
So I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful for you. And I just appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. I can see that you're there in your office, making time to call me. So thank you so much, Denise, for jumping on this and doing an interview with me. Do you have anything else you want to say? Because otherwise I'm just going to say, awesome. I'm so proud of you.
It's been a pleasure working with you. Okay. You are a great person to come to work through. Your impact on me has been amazing. And it's such a value in my life that I thank you for bringing this to us.
Oh, thank you very much. All right. Thanks, Denise.